to brew your best beer.
Hey everybody, happy Homebrew Wednesday. It's Brad here at Wild Boys Brewery. It's Memorial Day, so hope everybody had a good one. Got a brew day going on today. I'm doing Pooka the Elder, which is a Wild Boys Brewery version of Pliny the Elder, and just tweaking the recipe a little bit. Adding some Amarillo in it first before hopping, and changing the amounts on the Columbus, and changing the amount on the dry hop. And right now we're waiting on the I'm already mashed out, so I'm getting ready to start Vorlofting here in a little bit, and then we will come back after I get done Vorlofting. I'll show you the color, and be back then. Cheers. Alright, right here's the color. We got it running fairly clear, and collecting like this will be the 8th liter. This has got some wheat in the recipe that I've added to it for a little more head retention, a little more body. So I was doing some extra Vorlofting on it to get it nice and clear. And I'll show you the color here in just a moment. Alright, here is the color. And that is all the Vorlofting I'm doing. It's running really clear. And we will do the first wort hopping of This Is My Addition, not on the original recipe, 1 ounce of Amarillo. And there we go. Stir it in once it gets a little more in there. And this recipe does a 90-minute boil. Now I'm sitting here chilling, waiting on this wort to collect. We'll chat a little bit about the recipe. This is, I'm calling it Pooka the Elder just as kind of a nod to Pliny. It's basically the Mitch Steele version as far as the grains go. And the one thing I did change about the grains that wasn't on the Mitch Steele recipe, that was there's also basically, there's 3 different versions of this recipe floating around. There's the one in the IPA book from Mitch Steele. There's one in Jamil Zanishev's, he calls it Hop Hammer, which is basically, it's a little bigger than Pliny. And then there's another one that Vinny himself put out on PDF. If you search it, you'll find it online. And they're all pretty much about the same thing. The Hop Hammer has some wheat in it that the other 2 recipes don't. I added that. So my recipe has got 12.5, this is for a 6-gallon batch. My recipe's got 12.5 pounds of 2-row. It calls for American, I use Canadian because that's what I like. And it's got a pound of white wheat in it. Calls for a pound of corn sugar. Excuse me, not a pound, but 10 ounces of dextrose carapils, and 10 ounces of Crystal 40 for color. And I changed and added the Amarillo for first wort hopping because I really like the way Amarillo does for first wort hopping. So it's going to change the flavor profile on it just a little bit. The original recipe called for Columbus at 90, 2 2/4. The Hop Hammer had another drop of Chinook, which I'm not putting in mine because I don't like Chinook all that much. I damn sure don't want my 2-ounce drop at 90 because I think it'd just be too much. If you like Chinook, go for it. Use the Hop Hammer recipe and hop the hell out of it with Chinook. I'm not going to. Then the drops start declining after that. At 45 minutes, you get 1/4 ounce Simcoe, and then at 30, 1/2 ounce Centennial. And then at flame out, you get 1/2 ounce each of Cascade, Centennial, Simcoe, and Amarillo. And then for dry hopping, I'm going to use 6 ounces. I'm going to do dual straight dry hopping. I'm going to do 1 ounce each of Columbus, Centennial, and Simcoe. And then either another drop of the same ones, or I may do, I may replace the Columbus on the second stage with some Amarillo, and then use Centennial and Simcoe on that one. We'll see. And then instead of American Ale 1056 California yeast, I'm using the West Coast IPA yeast strain, which I really like. So Y Yeast 1217 West Coast IPA. Okay, we are doing a 90-minute boil, so I collected 7.8 gallons, and that's a little more than this pot will hold. I can get about 7.2 in there pretty good. So what I did was I filled it up to about right there, and then I've got about probably about 3/4 of a gallon or half a gallon or maybe a little more in this pot. So we're doing a double pot boil and we're doing some reduction here. Once this one gets up to a boil, I'll start my timer for 30 minutes, let it boil for 30 minutes, and then I'll combine the two pots and do my 60-minute Columbus drop. So we're doing a double pot boil today for 30 minutes, and then we'll combine them and do our hour in one pot. And I did take some of this where I collected the 4 gallons with the 1 ounce of Amarillo in there and put it into that one too, so it'll get the similar hop utilization out of that gallon or a little less or whatever it is. So we'll be back when we get ready to do our Columbus drop in 60 minutes. Alright, we're about, so we got about 18 minutes left on the 30-minute boil for the 90. And it's reduced enough I could get it all in one pot, so I went ahead and combined it. And this is normally about what I do on a 60-minute boil anyway, so it's about 7.2, 7.3, 4 gallons, something like that. And we're emptied out there, so we got about 17.5 minutes left, and we'll do our 60 drop and then start our 60-minute boil. Alright, we're getting ready to do our 60-minute drop. 2.5 ounces of Columbus. And it's about to get really aromatic in here. And we'll stir this baby in. Alright. And there we go. Get the eruption. And we'll start the timer now, 15 minutes. And we'll do our 45 drop. Okay, we just did the Centennial drop. It was ½ ounce. And then we got the World Flock and Yeast Nutrient left, the cane sugar, and then the Flame Out edition, and then we'll be done. Alright, we're getting ready for a Flame Out drop. It is a ½ ounce each of Amarillo, Cascade, Centennial, and Simcoe. So 2 ounces, chuck it in, and then we'll give it a stir, and we'll let this hop stand for 20 minutes, and then we'll cool it down. Kill the flame. And 20 minutes on there already. Damn, it smells good. Okay, we'll let this hop stand for 20 minutes, then we'll do a cool down, check it, pitch the yeast, and we're done. Okay, I had to rig up my pre-chiller, use the pump out of my kegerator, or my keg cleaner. It's got an adapter on it that you can hook up, and then it runs to a garden hose, and then you hook your garden hose in to the adapter basically that fits on the sink, and then you just run a closed loop. Basically I cooled it down to about 120, 130, 120, so it wouldn't melt all my ice right away, and then this will go ahead and start chilling it down, and we're already down to like 114, 113, and it should knock it on down to about 65 pretty quick. And we'll take a gravity reading and see where we're at on it. Okay, we finished up. We're sitting on 1074 at about 68 degrees, so it is probably right around about 1075. That's the color, and that is a wrap. We'll be checking this thing out here pretty soon, a couple weeks, and hopefully Pooka the Elder will be a really tasty brew, and I'll let you know. And here's the next day, and we've got a puker. Got all kinds of shit shooting through that hose. Been a while since I had one do this. But buddy, this one is. You can see the blow-off tube on the Zaka. One over there is perfectly clean, and this one's the next day. This thing's just smelling good in here, though. But we've got a good, strong, healthy fermentation. So, let's go ahead and get that red IPA over there racked into the keg. And on the gas, I got to get it out in a couple of days. Gonna have just enough time to get it gassed up, bottled, and shipped out to Larry. So this baby's gonna be super fresh as possible when you guys get it in the southeastern hub. Okay, this is the racking of the red IPA for the SJ Porr 2014 challenge, and you can see the color going into the keg here. Made a little tiny bit of a mess because I was taking a gravity reading. That's the first little bit that come out of the auto siphon, so it's got some junk in it. We're going to put this in the keg, carb it up, then bottle it, and then ship it out to Larry, and then it'll be coming to you guys super fresh. That's going to wrap it up. Hope you guys having a good week, and I'll see you next week. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. Cheers.